Time for our Spotlight program, and as I mentioned earlier, it's time for Chamber Talk on a Monday morning. Good morning, Detra. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great, thanks.
We've got a busy week this week, and
We
you
do.
have a very important guest to get to here in a few moments, but let's jump right into it. I had a great time at the Chamber-hosted event at Revelations on Wednesday, the
Yes.
Marketing in a Digital Age.
Yeah, that went really well and heard a lot of positive feedback from the folks that attended, and it was on digital marketing. And I know we at the Chamber, too, are looking at taking some of the advice from the tips and tricks that Patrick went through.
And I know that it's kind of tough to line these things up and find effective and dynamic speakers to come to town on a regular basis, but I thought it was well received, as you mentioned, and something that you want to keep moving forward with, having seminars and discussions like this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we always are wanting feedback from our membership as well as to what types of things they're interested in. And when I was eating lunch with Patrick afterwards, I said, can we get you again? Because, again, he was so well received. And so I think he does something on customer service as well, and don't know if and when we might be able to lock him in, but I'm certainly going to try.
All right. So, again, that was on Wednesday. Let's talk about, I mentioned a very busy time, very busy week, but you have a few things coming up, not this week. Was it? No, next week.
Next week,
Next
yeah.
week.
Yeah, on Tuesday, we've got a couple items. First is the annual Manufacturing Appreciation Luncheon. That's going to be taking place at the Fairfield Golf and Country Club. And then Tuesday evening, we have the Board of Supervisors Candidate Forum. And there was one earlier, sponsored by Farm Bureau. This one is co-sponsored between the Chamber and the Fairfield Economic Development. And it's be one last chance to get questions submitted and hear from the candidates before you vote.
Real quickly, I want to let listeners know that we will be interviewing each one of the candidates as well here on the Spotlight program, and those will be coming up in the weeks ahead. But each one of the candidates running for Jefferson County Supervisor will come in and sit down, and we'll ask them a host of questions as well. So a number of opportunities for you to get to know the candidates. Are you currently accepting questions maybe from the public?
We are from our members to start with, and they can be submitted to either the Chamber or the Economic Development, Josh, through their through their regular channels. And then the public will be able to submit questions the evening of the event as well. And then the moderator will choose which questions are asked.
I was looking at the calendar the other day, and it's hard to believe we've made it into October. Lots of great things happening. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Oktoberfest. That's on the calendar as well, but also Trick or Treat. And I noticed that you had the Chamber Merchant Trick or Treat.
Yes, so that's going to occur on the regular day of October 31st when the city also has their trick-or-treat hours. But this is during regular business hours, and for the participating merchants, they'll have a sign, an orange sign in their window, and then they invite children in their costumes to come trick-or-treat at their store.
I do want to remind you the night before, the afternoon before, on Sunday the 30th out of the Jefferson County Fairgrounds will be the annual Trunk-or-Treat event as well, another safe area for you to take your youngsters out to have some fun the night before trick-or-treating. All right, we mentioned that you had a guest today. I'll let you introduce John.
Yeah, we've got John Loyne today with us from Habitat for Humanity, and he's got a lot of things going on. So, good morning, John.
Good morning, Detra.
So I think one of the first things you wanted to talk about was World Habitat Day. Can you talk about what that is?
Yes, today is recognized internationally by the United Nations as World Habitat Day, and that's basically to educate the public about what's going on internationally, not only locally but internationally, about the need for better housing around the world. 1 in 4 people around the world needs better housing, and unfortunately it's not getting any better. The UN anticipates that by 2030 there will be an additional 3 billion people that will need better housing. One of the things that they wanted to do, and this is a little surprising to me, is that 3/4 of the land in the world is not legally documented. So one of the initiatives that the United Nations wants to do is to change those policies, because you can imagine every time there's a natural disaster in Bogota or Chennai or some other third world place, and people lose their slums, basically their places that they've squatted for years, and they lose that habitat. When they go back to move back, a lot of times they can't. The government says, you were there illegally, you don't have access to the land anymore. So then they shift to some other shanty town.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I didn't realize, the need for that legal documentation of land. You're not going to invest in something you don't own. See, in the States, we're fortunate in that just about all the land is legally documented, but that's not true internationally.
Great.
So,
Well, it's good to certainly build awareness about that issue.
Right.
We've got, since habitat and housing is one of your basic needs, just having to have some kind of shelter. So
Yeah.
we take it for granted a lot of times.
We do.
Another thing you wanted to talk about was a partnership with the high school that's starting.
Yeah, that's
about
really
that.
exciting. We've worked for about 3 years trying to get this partnership together with the Fairfield High School and their building trades program. And finally this year we were able to put it all together, and in September, beginning of the school year, 10 students, 9 guys and 1 girl, have come out and have started to work on our next habitat project. So every year, every September, those kids will be ready to start building a new habitat house.
Boy, that's fantastic. Some real hands-on experience.
Really hands-on experience. And the neat thing for them is that they'll get credit through Indian Hills for college credit for building trades. Mm-hmm. And the Indian Hills program has had that for a while, but now at the high school level, that's even more valuable for them because they're doing it during the school day. And they're driving all the nails, they're cutting all the wood. And Friday I was out there with them for a little while, and we were putting in some of the concrete anchors for the couple of columns that are going to support the trusses. So the kids are really enthusiastic, really respectful, and I think they really like that opportunity to get out of the classroom and actually do some hands-on things. So
absolutely, yeah. I know for some folks, I've known Dick Reed for a few years, and he always talked about growing up. He said, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to work with my hands.
Yeah.
And, being a contractor, and I know he's helped on Habitat for Humanity homes as well. Some people are just predisposed to really, that's their brings out their best is working with their hands to craft.
The neat thing about Habitat is you don't have to be a skilled craftsman. You can come out there just with a good attitude and a willingness to learn, and there's people that will show you what to do. And that's the case for the high school kids. They're working with Trevor Smith, and he's really doing a great job, and they're making good progress. We should be putting up trusses here pretty soon. I think maybe Thursday of this week. We lost a couple of them in transit, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Yeah, you can't. It's kind of hard to build a house without all the trusses. So there's 2 more coming, and they're hoping to get those up, and we want to get it enclosed before the bad weather comes, because It's always nicer to work indoors when it's 3 degrees as opposed to outdoors.
Excellent. Well, another thing we wanted to talk about was the grand opening of your new Restore location. I got a chance to take a sneak peek out there on Friday.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Well, that's another long-term project we've been working on. We realized that when we started the Restore in 2010, that it was a great location to begin with, but we knew we could do better. And we knew we were going to need to grow just because of the generosity of the people in Fairfield and the surrounding areas, because we get tons of donations. And if you're not familiar with the Restore, what we do is we take in donations of lightly used materials. Could be building, could be furniture, some household things, appliances, and we refurbish them, clean them up a little bit, resell them to the public at a deep discount. We then use that money to fund more habitat projects. So since 2010, we realized a couple years ago that we were going to need a bigger space. And we went through a number of different buildings around town and really evaluated the use for us, their location and such, and we found a great location across from Fessler's, just west of Fessler's, in the old one-stop rental building. Mm-hmm. We took that building, which was just under 3,000 square feet, and added a 4,000 square foot addition to it. So now we've got a nice new facility with some outdoor storage as well, and probably we do have room for expansions. I can see that it's going to be necessary in the coming years. Mm-hmm. So our grand opening will be this Saturday from 10 to 2. Our normal store hours are 10 to 5, but we'll have live music, tasty fall treats, it says, and refreshments, exciting door prizes, and discount coupons. And then we'll have a special drawing. Fairfield Arts and Convention Center gave us 2 tickets to their artist series. So the winner will be able to choose which show they want to go to and have 2 free tickets. So that'll be Saturday, this upcoming Saturday.
Well, I feel so lucky that we have a restore in a community the size of Fairfield.
Yeah.
And people who know me know I have a natural resources background and started environmental education. So reuse is so important for diverting waste from the landfill.
Exactly.
And this is just perfect. And I had been at the other location. It was a little hard to find.
Right.
So I'm really excited that you're in a more visible location, like you said, the old one-stop rental area. And for folks who haven't checked it out, please do. There's so many different things to look at and things you can find and at a discount, and again, diverts waste from the landfill.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you were mentioning about Dick before. He was really excited when we started this whole program. He says, because you don't realize how much it is every time we have to develop a new landfill, a new cell. It's incredibly expensive. So, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
and then you had one last thing I guess you wanted to talk about, which was your Carpenter Club.
Carpenters Club. So
what's that?
Everybody can join the Carpenters Club, and basically what that means is, each time we build a house, there's always a need for funds. So this is a fundraising event, and you can join the Carpenters Club by saying each time a new house is being built, I'll donate the money for the nails, or I'll donate the money for the windows, or if I'm really have deep pockets, I'll put up the money for the foundation. So we want to reinvigorate that. We had that going years ago, and for whatever reason, we let it fall by the wayside, but we're really getting that going again, because that'll be a primary source for the funds that we need to build each new house. And with the high school program, we'll be building at least one house a year. So
wow, you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, and it's good because there's really a strong need for better housing in Fairfield, and people at the lower end that can't go to one of the local banks and get a mortgage. Our Habitat partner families, we help support them, because when we build them a simple, decent home, it's affordable for them. They're paying probably less than what they would be paying in rent. So,
John, you mentioned a couple of times that you're in the process of building a home right now. It's you're fortunate to have a spot on, is it 9th Street? North 9th Street. 9th Street. Is
9th
that where
and Gear.
This is where the house is at now?
Yep.
Yeah. When did that start, and how long does it take to complete a home?
Well, we started in early July. We got the foundation in, and then the kids were ready with the plans. Holly Butler, our construction manager and architect, she put together the plans, so everything was ready when the kids were there, the materials were there, and they got going the beginning of the school year. And we'll probably take it right till almost to the end of the school year, and then the house will be complete. We'll have other volunteers coming on probably in the next few weeks on Saturdays like we used to do, and kind of help that process along a little bit.
And when that process starts, when you're asking for volunteers, let us know, because we'll get the word out as well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
All right. I think it's amazing if you think about Fairfield, the fact that Restore has moved to a brand new location, and the Lord's Cupboard just moved to a brand new location.
Yeah.
Two great organizations have been able to expand and serve more people through the generosity of the community.
Yeah, the community is incredibly generous. People don't realize it, but it's really an incredibly, and having been with Habitat for so long, I see that on an ongoing basis over and over and over again. People step up every time help is needed. So,
John, it's been great having you in the studios.
Yeah, thanks,
nice seeing you.
Thanks, Detra.
Thank you.
Real quickly, a couple items coming up this week. Let's talk about member-to-member discount this week.
Yeah, our member-to-member discount is 25% off a purchase of $20 or more at Fairfield Line. So again, if you're a member of the chamber and you have your member-to-member discount card, be sure to present that at Fairfield Line to get 25% off a purchase of $20 or more.
All right, you have a couple of highlight items on the calendar this week.
Well, it's homecoming week in Fairfield, and the school is really hoping that businesses will help support the effort and one way you can do that is taking part in the dress-up days. And today's pajama day, so if you want to run home and quick get your pajamas on, you can help support that. Tuesday is Tacky Tourist. Wednesday is Mismatch. Thursday, you can find a buddy and dress as a dynamic duo. And, of course, Friday, Spirit Day. And they would love you to send photos as well to some of their faculty. And Also coming up towards the end of the week, we've got Art Walk and a number of things with the Oktoberfest theme. Also, I'd like to note the At Home store is displaying a collection of homemade knit items for Art Walk and for the week following. And if you've got sweaters, ponchos, shawls, you can drop those off anytime now through Wednesday to be displayed. And we talked about the Restore opening coming up, grand opening. And Oktoberfest Art Walk on Friday night, 5 to 10 p.m. Lots of things going on, and this is the 10th year for this event. Music by Barefoot Becky, wiener dog races, kids activities, beer garden, beer tasting at the convention center, art around the square, carriage rides, which is always nice on these fall evenings, and again, quilts on display. And there's a German cake baking contest. I think that might be new this year. And you can talk to the Art Walk coordinator, Marla Brader, at fairfieldartwalk@gmail.com if you're interested in that. Also, I have to mention the annual Gem and Mineral Show. That's a favorite of my husband's. Always excited to see those signs come out. And that's going to be Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday during the day at the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center.
That's the Fox and Sock Lapidary Club.
Correct. Yeah. Great. Well, I know we're about out of time. There's a lot going on. I encourage people to come to our website and check out all the events going on in the community under the calendar tab.
All right. Again, for more information, log on to fairfieldiowa.com. Also sign up for the Monday morning newsletter, the week that will be. That can come to your email box. If you have any questions, email the chamber. It's chamber@fairfieldiowa.com. So again, the Fairfield Restore grand opening is on Saturday, 10 to 2.
Yes.
10 to 2. Stop out and see what it's all about. And your regular business hours?
10 to 5, Thursday through Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Restore. John, nice seeing you. And Detra, nice seeing you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
We have a look at the markets just around the corner here on KMCD.